Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to recreate the very last Formula 1 Belgium Grand Prix at the Francorchamps long circuit. We're going to be driving Jackie Stewart's ELF branded tool car. But first, please like and subscribe as we'll be producing more content. The 1970 Formula 1 season is steeped in history for many reasons. The track itself had the usual issues with safety, with lap speeds now exceeding 250 km an hour. The organisers had added a chicane at Malmedy. However, this would turn out to be the last Grand Prix run on the long circuit in Belgium. As it moved between Nivelle and Zolder, it would however return over a decade later at the new Spa circuit we know today. Ironically, despite the Formula 1 circus moving away from dangerous Spa, they were still happy to race at the German NordSchlief circuit, which claimed 44 lives by the end of 1970. In comparison, Spa had almost half that number of deaths of racing drivers, with 27. Not only was this the last Formula 1 race to be held at the original Spa circuit, it was also the last Formula 1 victory for Dunlop tyres. On the Tuesday before the race, Formula 1 driver Bruce McLaren was testing his 1970 Can-Am car at Goodwood. At one of the fastest parts of the circuit, the rear bodywork became loose. With no rear downforce, the car spun uncontrollably until it hit a bunker. The side impact killed McLaren instantly, and what became known the year of death had claimed its first major victim. With the abrupt withdrawal of McLaren, there were only 17 drivers qualified for the race. The Saturday morning session featured a number of problems with the timekeeping, with some drivers recording times over 10 seconds slower than what the teams were showing. Corrected times were finally posted after lunch, with Stewart benefiting from a tow to record a huge lap of 3:28. Here are the qualifying times on the right from 1970 and left in the simulation. We've got Jackie X on pole. Jackie X was 4th in 1970. Giunti was 2nd. We've got Jean-Paul Bourtois in 3rd versus 11th in 1970. Joe Siffert in 10th versus 13th. Most importantly, we've got Pedro Rodriguez in 6th in 1970, who was the eventual winner. We've got him qualified in 8th. There we go, we see Bourtois next to us in the Matra. Oh, had a reasonable start. Got Pierre Courage. Oh, just been passed by Rodriguez as well. Rodriguez started 8th on the grid, up to 6th already. These cars have got a lot of power. They may have wings, but the downforce is really limited. Going up Eau Rouge. It's definitely quite challenging, and this here is getting the car down, slow down enough. The tyres still slightly cold, really struggling to hold any grip at all. But when you look at the old footage of the cars, they were definitely sliding all over the place, and it's no wonder that a lot of drivers had accidents in those days, quite often life-changing or fatal accidents. Oh, it's extremely fast down here, and this is Malmedy. This is the new chicane. We try and get the car stopped. In the actual race itself, the car's sliding around there, struggling for grip and acceleration out of the corners. This is now the fastest part of the track, so actually going downhill way around the back of the current circuit. This is now a main road, possibly dual carriageway. I know there's a few traffic lights around here as well, as the road connects to other roads. So we try, that's it. Don't want to brake too much because you really lose the speed. There we go, as we go to the Stavelot. This is slightly on a camber, which means you can really hold the speed and accelerate around this what is actually a tight corner. With as we start to climb back into the country and towards the main part of the circuit now. So we've still got Chris Amon behind us. He's got Rolf Stommelen just behind, and then Ronnie Peterson, who was entered in the privately owned car. He's got the yellow and brown livery of that era. This is his first Grand Prix, year 1970, I think. Now we're just picking up a toe here, but we're not going to be able to get past here. We're going to have to be a little bit patient. Or Pierre's Courage side by side with Rodriguez and Jochen Rindt just ahead. And this is a bit tight here, and this is where we join pretty much the current circuit now. See, the cars have split up into groups slightly, but I think it may end up changing as we really brake hard. Oh, it's just very, very slightly gone wide. There we go, and Chris Amon straight through there.
New Swedish driver Ronnie Peterson spun his privately entered March exiting La
break that
Source.
down. Junts is in the lead ahead of X, really close up front. There we go, behind we can see in the mirrors there, we can see that the yellow and brown car of Ronnie Peterson there, the young driver at that stage. Chris Amon, who was driving, just trying to get around here, a car with an old chassis number, but they'd actually replaced most of the parts on there for this race with, actually had a light monocoque, and he actually ended up battling up front during the race. Try and get this stopped. Oh, we've got, who's that? That's Rindt and Amon. Yeah, as you can see, this is Pierre Courage's car. Actually, it's got Frank Williams branding on there. That was a Frank Williams branded car, and there you can see they've just taken them out, bouncing off the road. Oh, we can see behind, it looks like, oh look, all that good work from Peterson, Stommelen, they've been balked, and actually we've got Jack Brabham there as well in 11th now, so it's actually caught up behind. We've got, Jochen Rindt, he was due to drive the Lotus 72 apparently, as we get around here. But the 72 was something he wasn't satisfied with. He didn't like the modifications, and it kept having problems. So he reverted to the older Lotus 49C for this race. Let's see if we can catch up with Pierre Courage. Yeah, I've got Frank Williams. There's some famous footage or pictures of him talking to Courage in this car. He's got the logos on the front, and this of course is before Frank Williams started his own Frank Williams racing team. Try and hold him here. Oh yes, we've got him, there he is. Yeah, Tommaso Ford was the team that Pierre's Courage was racing with the Frank Williams branding. Oh, this has come by again. It's so much faster than me around there. You'll notice the car we're driving, it says Lotus in there. In the sim, we've only got we've got 4 manufacturers. We've got Lotus, Brabham, and then we've got the vintage 1 and 2 cars. Slow this down. In fact, during this season, there's Brabham, BRM, Ferrari, Lotus, March, and Matra. 2 all had 1 car entered for this race. So quite a few teams had either 3 drivers, or maybe even just the 1. But it was only Ferrari that had 2 drivers in this race. X and Gunti, who are up front in this race now. So it was Johnny Service Gavin. He actually announced his retirement at Monaco that year, so it was before this race, I believe, and he was a Tyrrell driver alongside Stewart. I don't think we're going to get through here. He had a crash. I think he damaged his eye, and at Monaco he decided that he wasn't safe to race, and he retired after that race. Oh, I don't think we're going to get that. It's a bit too fast, that approach into there, to be able to get through. Yes, quite tricky, that chicane, dropping down there at speed. We can still see them queuing up behind in the mirrors. A good 3-4 seconds on them. You're part of the circuit here where it's well over 240 kilometers an hour, 250 kilometers an hour. Oh, really got to be very careful about losing grip around there. Oh, let's see if we can make this stick. Definitely have a little bit more speed coming up here. Need to make the most of that. So yeah, right in the distance you can see the Matra Fords with the sort of lighter blue. This corner here is really, you want to take it flat out. I mean, now in a modern racing car, you wouldn't even think it was a corner. But yeah, the problem in those days, the speed they were doing, I think maybe with the NordSchlief, although it did claim more lives, maybe they just felt overall the circuit was slower. Whereas the cars are just flat out for so much of the time here. They just felt that was just too dangerous. Oh, and this one's surprisingly tight, just that left-hander there that brings us onto the top of the start and finish area. There we go, we've got that slowed down in time there. You see the crowds all lined up. So we approach lap 4, getting slightly faster. I'm not sure we're going to catch right to the front. I think we've still got a chance of getting towards Rodriguez, I think. Now, Rodriguez started 8th, up to 3rd already. Will he be able to catch up with the leaders? Chris Amon and Rodriguez were battling it out during the race itself in 1970. So it looks like Bell has dropped off the pace, 20 seconds behind 21. Yeah, it looks like there's a problem with Bell there. Not too sure what's happened. We'll have a look after the race. So it looks like the drivers, as they come up from the start finish on the Kemmel Straight, we can actually see Derek Bell's car, who is a young driver then. It looks like it's smoking very heavily as they go through through Bernaville. You can actually see him weaving from side to side. Don't know if he's got a problem with fuel, but it looks like it was smoking, whether it's oil or water. It looks like, yeah, it looks like an engine failure. So it looks like we've got 17 cars just over halfway, and yeah, that's terminal. So it looks like we're down to 16 drivers. We're definitely getting a bit closer to Jean-Pierre Bourtois in the Matra there. He's really close to Pierre Rodriguez, who's actually dropped off the pace a little, 7 seconds down on the leaders. They're absolutely flying. I don't know whether he's going to be able to, or we are going to be able to drag them back actually, or manage to get a bit of slipstream there. There we go, and that's the race winner from 1970. Yardley white and brown livery, brown being a real fashion colour from the 70s. Yeah, they've just got more grip around there than me. But the way this car's set up, slightly faster on the straights, bit of a compromise in some of the fast corners. Oh, and we can see actually it looks like something has happened behind. We've got quite a few drivers that have slowed down, so I don't know what's happened there. We'll have to see. First, there we go, lap 6. We've got 2 laps to go. Really need to try and keep them close. We've got after the Campbell Straight, that tight-ish left hand is Lecombs. This one here, you really have to brake quite early. You can glide it round, but if you get it wrong, you end up straight into the Armco there. But yeah, the circuit itself was just so fast, so exposed. You know, this is open, or before the race it's open roads, so close it off, but it's not a dedicated racetrack by any stretch of the imagination. As we try and come round here, gonna need to try and get on the back of these to make contact. We're up to 5th. We're definitely faster in some parts of the circuit. We've got 2 laps to try and make a difference here. Try not to take any speed off if possible. Oh my goodness me. Oh, what has happened there? Right, so it looks like we've got a group of cars. We've got Joe Siffert in there, we've got Joachim Rindt, Ronnie Peterson. Looks like we've got Chris Amon in there, and actually we've got Henry Pescarolo. Looks like we've also got Hill. Oh my goodness me. What has happened? So this is, I think this might be Hill. This is Hill's car, number 23. We can see him coming around the corner. It looks like maybe Chris Hayman's got it wrong. Oh, made contact with Henry Pescarolo in the Matra, and we can see he's taken him out. We can see the cars all over the place, and there's Hill just hits Ronnie Peterson's car there. Then this is it from another angle. Yeah, we can see number 20, and we can actually see all 3 Lotuses involved in there. Yeah, so we can see Hill actually, yeah, impossible to avoid the accident, and yeah, he takes the number 9 out, the March of Joe Siffert. But actually it looks like Graham Hill might actually get going again. So this is Jackie Oliver, and this is Miles. So this is the other Lotus. There, look, we've just hit the debris and exploded. Now this is further up the road, so these 2 cars are ahead. This is Pierre Courage, and this is Pierre Courage. You can see that Williams logo on the front of the car there, and you can see, he's slowed down, so he was ahead of the incident. So actually got the 2 Brabhams that have left. So you've got Stommelen in front, and you've got Jack Brabham, who is just overtaking him. So that elevates them up the leaderboard. This is further around on the same lap. Oh my goodness me, it's Brabham. So Jack Brabham engine has blown. So he goes round the corner there. Yeah, and he parks it up. So that means that we've only got 1 Brabham left, which is Rolf Stommelen. And this is, so Hill has actually made it almost back to the finish, and it looks like he's got a blown engine as well, so which is probably damaged in the incident. See if we can make it around here. I mean, those cars, or those wheels there, I mean, the reality is in 1970 and in that period of time, you know, when people crashed, they didn't often, I mean, most of the time, they didn't stop the race. You just, as a driver, drive through the wreckage, and you just have to hope that no one has passed away or is seriously injured. In fact, Jackie Stewart, there was a really, really wet race at the NordSchlief, and I think Jackie Stewart, he may have won by maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and I mean, it was absolutely torrential, in the worst circuit for that to happen. I'm not sure how many finishes there were, but at the end of it, the first thing apparently he said when he got out of the car is, has anyone died? Certainly with that awful accident with Niki Lauda, which ended being the nail in the coffin of the NordSchlief. Right, so they should be approaching our last lap now. So it looks like the 2 Ferraris ahead have got it wrapped up. Sliding through, still, you know, you expect this to almost be flat, but you know, the reality is even now, you know, if you don't have the right aero package, you can't go flat out up there. Obviously it's slightly different layout than it was in those days, and the cars are completely different as well. Let's see if we can make some time here. Really am trying to get as much out of this car as possible to get up with the leaders up ahead. More crowds on the left hand side there, just as they were back in 1970, and it looks like Jean-Pierre Beltois made a mistake. See if we can risk it down here. Ooh. Get it. Oh, look at that. He's literally turned straight. He turned into me. I mean, believe it or not, I've got the damage model turned to full. so I don't actually know if I'm damaged at all, but it's really sensitive, so I can't believe we've actually got away with that. But we have got past him. I don't know whether he's got damage. Oh, I tell you what. Oh my goodness me, look at that. So yeah, this is further ahead. You can see us in the background there, following the Matra and the BRM. So two leaders, two Ferraris side by side. Oh, look at that, we could just see them just clip wheels. Oh, so who's that? That's got to be good to your, yeah, that looks like, unfortunately, Jackie X isn't going to make it to the finish, but he is going to end up 6th, which I think he may have ended up maybe 6th, 7th or 8th after not finishing in, I think probably 8th actually, after not finishing in 1970. Not finishing due to an engine failure, not a catastrophic accident like that. Can we get on the back of Rodriguez? We've got Jean-Pierre behind us. Rodriguez in 2nd, so I mean, almost repeating what happened position wise in 1970. Started 6th in 1970. Ooh, ended up 1st. Certainly after the car we were driving, Jackie Stewart's Elf sponsored car, started 8th today and looks like he's going to end up 2nd. Let's see if we get slowed down in time. Which we can, and that's it. So I mean, you know, this is absolutely superb circuit to drive. Wouldn't want to do it in real life, not in these cars. I mean, you know, when we talk about the number of deaths in those days, it was really shocking by any standards, and certainly one of the reasons Jackie Stewart retired early. So let's have a look at the result, but first please like and subscribe because we'll be producing more content. Having a look at the left hand side, we've got Gunty in 1st versus 4th, but we've got Rodriguez, we've got Jean-Pierre Beltois who's 3rd versus 4th in the simulation. We've got Rolf Stummelin in 5th. Yeah, Jackie X, he finished 8th out of the points, but he did actually finish. He was in 2 laps down. I still think he had an engine problem. Ended 6th in our event. Henry Pescarolo ended up 6th in 1970, and he was making his way through the field. I mean, he was up to I think 10th and making his way forward. Looking at the position before the crash. And then funnily enough, we've got Derek Bell, who was the first to retire on lap 1 with a gearbox problem, and we've actually got Derek Bell, who was the first to retire in our race, equaling that result. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.